Global warming is a serious problem that the present-day generation faces. It is the rise of the average temperature in the Earth's atmosphere. According to NASA Goddard Institution for Space Studies, over the last 100 years, the surface temperature of the Earth has increased by 0.8 degrees Celsius. Scientists say this increase has been quickened in the last few decades due to increasing amounts of greenhouse gas emissions. This increasing of the Earth's surface temperature will cause a climate change. The summers will get increasingly hotter, while the winters will get increasingly colder and delayed. We have already seen examples of this statement in the past few years of 2010, 11, and 12. People, of course, have realized the seriousness of this problem and are taking steps to solve it, doing so much to protect our environment and reduce as much pollution as possible. Some of these solutions are infrastructure upgrades, making houses more insulated, stopping deforestation, using new fuels, and being more efficient with food, energy, transport, and trying to get people to consume and pollute less. All of these solutions are very helpful, especially using new renewable fuels. The best for our environment out of these fuels is solar power. Solar power addresses a specific problem of harmful energy sources. Solar power is the most powerful source of energy, cleanest and most abundant, which can be used for lighting, heating, and cooling buildings, everyday needs of a human life. Solar energy, unlike most energy sources, is limitless, even on rainy days. Solar energies can be stored and used later on for days like these, which shows how economically beneficial it is too. Although the drawback is the expense of solar power, which is about $15,000 to $30,000, which isn't equal price-wise to how efficient the energy is. At the present time, humans have not been able to make the most of solar power's potential. Only about 1% of electricity generated is by solar power, and it will take years for people to reach full potential. However, the price is rapidly lowering. Just over the past 10 years, the average price in the US for solar panels has dropped 15 to 30% from its original price. Also, since it's limitless and once installed it's free forever, the user is protected against rising energy costs. As for our country's whole economy, yes, solar energy harnessing and distribution is very expensive and could hurt the economy, but only momentarily. After a while, people will continue on their jobs. People will be able to get jobs in solar energy production and would help loosen the country's dependency on foreign oil production, which is very expensive. So solar power would be more of an advantage to the economy in the long run than a disadvantage. Mostly though, solar energy is mainly becoming so popular because, as mentioned before, it is the cleanest source of energy. It reduces the need to burn fossil fuels, which leads to less pollution in the air, less greenhouse gases, and slows down the heating up of the Earth's atmosphere. Solar energy has no contribution to air pollution. The sun's light has energy, and we can feel it. For example, when standing in the sun, it feels warm. But instead of using this heat, solar power uses solar cells to convert energy into electrical currents, which can be used for power. Most electric systems are fueled mainly by coal. Switching to solar power as a source of energy lessens the demand for that coal use, reducing the pollution created by it. Additionally, to get coal, lots of land is stripped of vegetation, harming the environment more. Also, when fuel combustion is incomplete, carbon monoxide is created and released, which is a huge health hazard, not only to our environment and animals, but also to humans. Solar energy doesn't create any harmful emission. As in other words, fossil fuels that we use now create greenhouse gases which trap the sun's heat ray in the Earth's atmosphere, raising atmospheric temperatures. If solar energy were to replace many of these fossil fuels, less greenhouse gases would be emitted, and the sun's heat would not get trapped as easily in the atmosphere. And over time, the temperature would stop increasing, and hopefully even drop to its proper temperature. All in all, our environment was made at Earth's proper temperature. The rising of the temperature and pollution has been harming it, so solar power's effect will be beneficial to the environment too. Another disadvantage, though, is that a lot of area is needed to set up a correct solar power system, and in big cities that use a lot of energy, there isn't always enough space for solar power. But still, a great solution to global warming is switching to harmless renewable energy sources. More specifically, switching mostly to solar power as a fuel source will help stop global warming. Thank you for listening to this environmental podcast.